Most people think about breakfast when they talk about brain food, or maybe they think of supplements, green tea, or crossword puzzles. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about what your brain needs right before bed? What if the most important meal for your memory, your mood, even your heart health, is actually the smallest one? The one you eat just an hour before closing your eyes? Because after 60, sleep isn't just about rest anymore. It's about repair. It's when your body rebuilds, your mind organizes, and your cells fight back against the silent effects of aging. So if your sleep feels shallow, your mornings feel foggy, or you've been forgetting names that used to roll off your tongue like song lyrics, I want to share something that could change that. And no, it's not a drug or some expensive superfood. It's simpler, it's older, it's rooted in elderly wisdom and backed by modern science. These are the 3 foods that can fuel your brain while you sleep, especially if you're over 60. Let me tell you about someone who brought this to life for me. Her name was Clara, a 73-year-old retired librarian from northern Michigan. She had always been sharp, one of those people who could remember every birthday in the family, who never lost at Scrabble. But about 2 years ago, Clara started feeling slower. Words didn't come as fast. She'd find herself standing in the kitchen, forgetting why she walked in. Her sleep got worse too. More waking up at night, more anxiety. Her doctor told her it was just aging, but Clara wasn't the kind of woman to accept that without a fight. She told me once, just because something is common doesn't mean it's natural. That stuck with me. So she started reading. She dug into studies, watched lectures, even called an old college friend who was a nutritionist. And she made one simple change. She began eating walnuts before bed. Now I know walnuts aren't new. You've probably heard they're healthy. But the reason they matter after 60? It's because of something called alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. This is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, and for older adults it's gold. ALA supports heart rhythm and brain function. In fact, a large study from UCLS showed that seniors who consumed walnuts regularly scored significantly better on memory tests than those who didn't. Not a little better, significantly. Walnuts also reduce inflammation, which is the silent villain of aging. Inflammation in the brain is linked to cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and depression. In the heart, it contributes to arrhythmia and high blood pressure. So when you eat a few walnuts, say 6 to 8 halves, before bed, you're not just snacking. You're giving your body the tools to fight the fires of aging while you sleep. Clara told me she'd make it a ritual. Around 9 p.m., she'd sit by the window with a soft blanket, a cup of chamomile tea, and a small bowl of walnuts. No phone, no news, just quiet. She said it made her feel like she was saying to her body, I'm still on your side. That kind of mindset, it matters, because motivation doesn't come from guilt or fear. It comes from self-respect. Elderly reflections like Clara's remind us that how we treat ourselves in the quiet moments says everything about how we age. And for Clara, 3 months later, her memory was sharper, her blood pressure was lower, and she told me she was dreaming again. That's no small thing. But walnuts are just the first step. The second food might surprise you. It's not exotic, it's not expensive. You probably walk past it at the grocery store all the time. I'm talking about kiwi. Yes, kiwi, that fuzzy little green fruit with a tart sweetness. Most people don't give it much thought. But if you're over 60 and struggling with sleep or memory, kiwi might be one of the best natural allies you've never used. Back in 2011, researchers studied a group of older adults who ate 2 kiwis an hour before bed every night for 4 weeks. The results were powerful. These seniors fell asleep faster, slept longer, and woke up less during the night. And even more, when their sleep improved, their mood and memory improved too. Kiwi's rich in serotonin precursors, antioxidants, and vitamin C nutrients that support both sleep cycles and brain clarity. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which naturally declines with age. And unlike medications, kiwi doesn't knock you out. It gently nudges your body back toward balance. That's why I always say after 60, food isn't just fuel, it's feedback. What you eat tells your body what you expect of it. If you eat processed carbs or sugar at night, your body thinks it's time to stay alert. But if you eat kiwi, your body gets the message it's time to repair. I want to share a quick story about Harold, 76, widowed retired journalist living in Dublin. After his wife passed, Harold stopped sleeping. The grief, the silence, the empty bed, it all added up. His daughter, who's a nutritionist, gave him a simple suggestion. Try 2 kiwis before bed. At first, Harold laughed. You think fruit's going to fix this? He said. But he was desperate. He tried it. 1 week later, he called her and said, "I slept the whole night. First time in 6 months." 3 weeks later, he said something else. "I remembered my wife's voice in a dream. It was so clear." Now you tell me, that's not medicine. So what do you need to do? Peel 2 ripe kiwis, eat them 1 hour before bed. Nothing else. Don't pair it with sugar or heavy meals. Let it be your bedtime prescription, natural, silent, powerful. And now we move to the third food, one that sits quietly in your fridge, often ignored. That's Greek yogurt. And before you roll your eyes, isn't that for breakfast? Hear me out. Greek yogurt is one of the most effective nighttime foods for seniors. Why? Because it's packed with casein protein, which digests slowly overnight and helps prevent muscle loss. After 60, preserving muscle is just as important as preserving memory. Muscle keeps you mobile. Mobile keeps you independent. Independence keeps you free. But it doesn't stop there. Greek yogurt also provides calcium, a key mineral in melatonin production. Without calcium, your body struggles to regulate sleep cycles naturally. That's why older adults often wake up feeling unrefreshed. It's not age, it's chemistry. Let me tell you about Jeanette, 81 years old, from Alberta. Her doctor told her she was at risk of sarcopenia, the slow muscle loss that hits many seniors. She didn't want to take protein shakes filled with artificial sweeteners, so she started eating half a cup of plain Greek yogurt every night. Sometimes she'd drizzle a little honey. Sometimes she'd stir in berries or a few crushed walnuts. Within a month, her sleep was deeper. Her legs didn't feel as heavy in the morning. Her mood lifted, and most important, she felt in control again. That's the magic of small choices. So tonight, think about what you're giving your body before bed. You don't need a full meal. You don't need to count calories. You need nourishment. You need intention. You need to send your body one clear message. I still care about you. I'm still fighting for you. That's what senior health is really about. Not perfection, but persistence. So try this: a few walnuts, 2 kiwis, a spoonful of Greek yogurt. These aren't trends, these are tools. Backed by science, strengthened by elderly wisdom. Carried forward by people like you. People who still believe there's more to learn, more to protect, and more life to live. And if this spoke to you, let me know in the comments. Where are you watching from? The US, the UK, Europe, maybe even somewhere farther? I'd love to hear your story. And if you're ready to take the next step in nourishing your mind and your body after 60, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss another moment of elderly motivation, elderly reflection, and real-life life lessons that can still change everything. Because this is just the beginning. Next, we'll dive into a golden drink rooted in ancient medicine, a berry often called brain fuel, and a leafy green that's reshaping how we approach blood pressure in older adults. Stay with me. The night is just beginning, and your best mornings may be just one choice away. Let me ask you something. When the day ends and the world slows down, do you treat your evening meals with the same care as your breakfast or lunch? Most people don't, especially seniors. You think, well, it's the end of the day, what I eat now doesn't matter as much. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Because what you eat before bed is what your body works with all night long. After 65, that night window becomes sacred. Your heart, your brain, your muscles. They all go into repair mode. But they can't repair without the right tools. So while we've already covered walnuts, kiwi, and Greek yogurt earlier, now it's time to dig even deeper, to uncover 3 more nighttime foods that quietly fight inflammation and protect your independence. And I want to start with something warm, golden, and old as time. Turmeric milk. Some people call it golden milk, others call it nonsense. But let me tell you, they haven't looked at the science. Because turmeric, especially its active compound called curcumin, is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories known to researchers today. And here's why that matters for seniors. As we age, chronic inflammation becomes a silent invader. It creeps into the joints, into the arteries, into the brain. It doesn't scream, it whispers. Until one day your knees ache, your memory slips, and your heart doesn't beat quite like it used to. But curcumin, it helps fight that quietly, steadily, night after night. Now let me share the story of Joyce, 81 years old, living alone in the quiet countryside of Devon, England. A proud grandmother, a retired nurse, and someone who always believed in food before pills. For months she had been struggling with mental fog, tossing and turning in bed, waking up with pain in her hips and shoulders. Her granddaughter, who studied naturopathic nutrition, gave her a recipe. 1 cup of warm milk, oat or almond or regular dairy, At first, Joyce was skeptical, but she tried it every night before bed. Within 2 weeks, she said she could feel the fog lifting. Her sleep got deeper, the morning stiffness faded, and most importantly, she felt connected to her body again. "It's like my body finally exhaled," she told me. And that's what we're after. Now the science backs her up. In a study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, older adults who took curcumin supplements showed improved memory and attention after just 18 months. They also had less buildup of amyloid plaque in the brain, the same plaque associated with Alzheimer's. So if you're someone who wakes up stiff, foggy, or exhausted, try adding a warm turmeric drink to your night routine. Not because it's trendy, but because it's timeless. Because in Elderly Reflections, we're not looking for hype, we're looking for healing. And this golden drink might just be the medicine your body has been waiting for. Now let's shift gears to something sweet, small, and incredibly powerful. Blueberries. These aren't just fruits for yogurt parfaits. They are brain protectors, plain and simple. Blueberries are rich in compounds called anthocyanins, which help boost blood flow to the brain and protect neurons from oxidative stress. Think of it like this. As you age, your brain becomes more vulnerable to wear and tear. The right antioxidants act like shields. They help preserve memory, focus, even decision-making skills. I want to tell you about someone who learned this firsthand. Louis de Monville, 75 years old, a retired mechanic from Kentucky. Hands like leather, voice like gravel. A man who never believed in health foods. But when he started forgetting where he left his tools, or why he walked into the garage, he got scared. Not scared of death, but scared of forgetting the people he loved. One of his poker buddies, whose wife was a nurse, told him about blueberries. Louis laughed it off at first, but then he started adding a small handful to his evening snack. Just 10 to 15 berries. Not much. After 2 weeks, he noticed something strange. His thoughts weren't as scrambled. His dreams felt more vivid. After a month, he said he felt clearer, like the static in his brain had dialed back. That's not imagination, that's biology. And he's not alone. A 2016 study from the University of Exeter showed that seniors who drank blueberry juice daily had noticeable improvements in brain activity, especially in areas responsible for memory and planning. That's real data. Real hope. So whether you blend them into a smoothie, stir them into yogurt, or eat them plain, blueberries at night are more than a sweet treat. They're a silent ally in your fight to stay sharp, stay strong, and stay independent. Finally, let's talk about something unexpected. Spinach. Yes, spinach. I know what you're thinking. You want me to eat salad at night? And the answer is maybe. Hear me out. Spinach is rich in magnesium, a mineral that most seniors are severely lacking. And magnesium is like a master conductor in your body. It helps regulate blood pressure, calm the nervous system, and support deep, restful sleep. Without enough magnesium, seniors often suffer from restless legs, insomnia, anxiety, and even arrhythmias. But here's what most people don't know. Magnesium is best absorbed at night. That's when your body does the heavy lifting of repair. That's when it matters most. Let me introduce you to Maria, 69 years old, born in Spain but now living in Arizona. At her last checkup, her doctor warned her about rising blood pressure. She didn't want medication, she wanted to try food first. So every night, Maria began preparing a small bowl of baby spinach, just a handful, drizzled with olive oil. Sometimes she'd add half an avocado or a hard-boiled egg. She called it her green peace. Within a month, her numbers started to drop. Her sleep improved, her legs stopped twitching at night, and the best part, she said, it became a ritual of self-respect. It's not just food, she told me. It's a reminder that I still have a say in how I age. And that, my friends, is what senior health is all about. Not just surviving, but participating. Making small, consistent choices that keep your brain clear, your heart steady, and your body working for you, not against you. So let me ask you again, when the sun sets and your house gets quiet and the world fades into shadows, what do you feed your brain? Do you numb it with processed snacks, sugar, or alcohol? Or do you nourish it with warmth, wisdom, and foods that whisper, I'm still fighting for you? Tonight, try something new. A cup of golden turmeric milk, a handful of blueberries, a small spinach salad. You're not just eating, you're healing, and you're reminding yourself and your body that the second half of life can be just as vibrant, just as meaningful, just as full of purpose as the first. And if this part of the video has helped you, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? The US? The UK? Somewhere in Europe? Leave a comment. Join the community. Because here on Elderly Reflections, We believe in life lessons from the elderly, in inspiration that endures, and in quiet acts of motivation that ripple across generations. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell so you never miss what's next. Because up next, we're going to bring all 6 of these foods together into one simple, powerful routine. I'll show you how to build a perfect evening ritual, how to avoid the foods that undo all this good, and how one elderly man took back his clarity, his energy, and even his identity, just by changing what he ate after 7 p.m. Your next chapter starts tonight. Let's write it together. There's something sacred about the quiet of evening. Blood pressure regulation. And here's the truth. After 60, this window becomes more important than ever. It's no longer about quantity of sleep, but the quality of what your body does while you're asleep. And that quality depends on how you close your day. So far, we've explored 6 powerful foods: walnuts, kiwi, Greek yogurt, turmeric milk, blueberries, and spinach. Now it's time to bring it all together into something you can actually use, because senior health isn't about fads. It's about building a rhythm your body can trust, a quiet routine rooted in elderly wisdom and designed to protect the 2 most important assets you still carry: your mind and your independence. Let me begin by telling you a story I'll never forget. His name was George. He was 82 years old, a retired dentist from Vermont. George was the kind of man who always had a quote in his back pocket, a little Mark Twain here, a little Shakespeare there. But after his wife passed, something changed. He stopped making dinner, stopped reading, started grabbing whatever was easy: toast, crackers, sugary cereal. He'd tell himself, "At my age, why bother?" But his daughter noticed his memory dulled, his hands trembled. He was waking up groggy, falling asleep restless. She got him in for testing, and the results weren't encouraging. His blood pressure was erratic, his cholesterol had spiked. But what truly worried the doctors was his brain. Early signs of decline, faded brain scans, a kind of stillness where once there was fire. That was when his daughter, a nurse, sat down with him and said, "Dad, we're going to take back your nights." And they did. They started something small. Every evening at 8:30, George would prepare a tray. Not a big meal, just intention. 6 walnut halves, a bowl of Greek yogurt with a spoonful of blueberries, a glass of turmeric milk, no screens, no news, just soft jazz, a journal, and stillness. In 6 weeks, his doctor was stung. George was sleeping through the night. He stopped waking up disoriented. He said his thoughts felt like a window wiped clean. His blood pressure had stabilized, his spark came back, and the best part? He wasn't surviving anymore. He was participating in his life again. That's what these foods can do, but only if you build the right rhythm. So let's talk routine. Most people eat too close to bedtime, and that forces the body to prioritize digestion over repair. Your ideal eating window should end 90 minutes before sleep. That means your last snack should happen around 7 to 8:30 p.m. Depending on when you tuck in, no heavy meals, no sugar bombs, just a few select healing foods. Here's a sample rotation. Monday, have kiwi and yogurt. Tuesday, try spinach salad with olive oil and half a boiled egg. Wednesday, walnuts and turmeric milk. You don't need all 6 foods every night. You rotate. You listen, you adapt. Let's talk portions, because more isn't better. In the evening, small is powerful. Here's a guide: walnuts, 6 to 8 halves, Greek yogurt, half a cup, blueberries, a quarter cup, kiwi, 1 or 2 fruits, spinach, a small handful, turmeric milk, 1 cup. These aren't meals, they're messengers. Each one sends a signal to your brain and heart: we're still nourishing, we're still repairing, we're still growing. Now it's just as important to know what to avoid, because some habits cancel all the good you've done. The biggest culprits: processed carbs, sugary snacks, salty late-night foods. Seniors often reach for toast, crackers, or cookies before bed. They feel comforting, but they spike your blood sugar, activate cortisol, and prevent deep sleep. And that sleep disruption adds up night after night, year after year. It can lead to cognitive fog, insulin resistance, and even inflammation in the brain. Another common trap: alcohol. A glass of wine might help you fall asleep faster, but it ruins sleep architecture. It prevents you from entering REM sleep, elevates heart rate, and increases the risk of dementia long-term. And then there's hydration. Yes, it's important, but too much fluid late at night leads to interrupted sleep, more bathroom trips, and even dangerous falls due to nighttime dizziness, especially if you're taking blood pressure meds. So sip water slowly after 7 p.m. and taper off by 9. Let's talk ritual, because food is more than fuel. It's self-respect. It's you saying to your body, I still value you, I still care. Build a nighttime practice. Dim the lights, turn off the screens, light a candle or play soft music. Prepare your snacks slowly with intention. Sit down, eat with gratitude. Maybe you write in a journal. Just one sentence. What am I proud of today? What made me smile? These moments aren't just peaceful, they're protective, because they train your nervous system to shift from fight or flight to rest and restore. Now let me share one last story, a letter we received last month from a viewer named Eleanor. She's 86, lives alone in Minnesota. She wrote, I watched your video in April. I've been eating walnuts, yogurt, and blueberries every night since. Last week I remembered a dream for the first time in a decade. I felt like I was in it, really in it. And when I woke up, I wasn't tired. I was peaceful. Friends, that's not magic. That's nutrition. That's routine. That's what we mean when we say life lessons from the elderly. Because they teach us that the real secrets to wellness aren't hidden in laboratories. They're already in your kitchen. They're in your evening choices. They're in the quiet moments when you could give up, but don't. So let's recap. 6 powerful foods. Walnuts, kiwi, Greek yogurt, turmeric milk, blueberries, spinach. Each one simple, each one backed by science, each one capable of changing how your brain and heart perform while you sleep. Use them, rotate them, build your ritual around them. Because elderly reflections are about more than remembering the past. They're about creating a future, one quiet, nourishing night at a time. Before we close, let me ask you, what have you been feeding your brain before bed? What have you given your heart to repair itself? And more than that, what message have you been sending to your body each night? If the answer is, I don't know, then tonight is the perfect night to begin. A small bowl, a warm drink, a handful of blueberries. That's it, no drama, just dignity. If you've found this series helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell. We've got more stories coming, more real tools grounded in senior health, built on elderly wisdom, and driven by inspiration that doesn't fade with age. And please tell us in the comments where you're watching from. UI, Canada, Ireland, the leather, because the more we share, the more we learn. And the more we remember that age is not a limit, it's a lens. Here's to your brain, here's to your heart, and here's to the quiet power of food, ritual, and reflection. Because even now, especially now, your life still has chapters worth writing.